Hi, this is Paul Mele, Mele Waterworks.
Trevor Latham, Latham Irrigation.
So today we're going to go over drip repair. This stuff is super popular now. Most gardens are installing it. And it's really easy to use, but it's also pretty easy to have breaks or little things. So we'll go over some common stuff.
Yeah, pretty common one would be, say, a tear at a transfer barb. A lot of times it just gets yanked out from getting hit by a rake or whatever, and then you want to pop it back in, but it always leaks and doesn't quite work out. So the proper way to make the repair would be to cut it out. You can try using a goof plug and popping it in there. Half the time it'll work. Sometimes it'll leak. It is quicker. Pop it in, use a full coupler.
So these things just really push right over, and you only need to put it in about an inch. Sometimes people really cram it in, and then if you ever have to take it out, it's kind of a pain.
You have to make a straight cut.
Right.
If it's at an angle, it'll be a little funny. Sometimes people carry hot water with them just in case if it's really stiff. But
if it's cold.
But usually you can wiggle it, make a new hole.
So you really want to use something like a punch.
Keep my keys on it. And now you've got a fresh start. Pop it back in, and that's the repair.
That's the repair. So let's just say this got tore out again, or you had a different repair. So the idea with these goof plugs or dual plugs is you pop one off, and I'm just gonna grab this. So there's two sides. There's the fat side and the 1/4 inch side. This 1/4 inch side is what, oops, wrong side. Where's the end of that?
Would be the end.
Right.
You'd use for that guy.
And then let's say you just didn't have a coupler and you wanted to give it a shot. I use my vice grips or something, and then just kind of get it, pop it in. And if it's a clean break or clean pull out, sometimes that'll do it, but that definitely always does it. Don't even bother trying like using tape or anything. That never works.
There's a bunch of weird hardware store ones that.
Yeah. So the other thing about drip tube is there's really two main sizes, but in certain areas there's up to 3. So they color code and make it pretty easy. So we got the blue is the 0.710 outside diameter at 7.7 of an inch outside diameter OD. 0.600 is a little smaller. You'll find that lots of times in non-professional hardware stores. You'll find this size in irrigation supply houses.
Best thing to do is cut a piece off and take it down to the shop.
Yeah.
And then match it up.
Right.
Otherwise, you're guessing.
Yeah.
They do make some that'll do it either.
Right.
It's nice to have one of those in the truck just in case. Because if you hit a green one at the end of the day and you don't have the fitting for it, it'll drive you crazy.
And then sometimes you go to the hardware store and they're all black or they don't match the colors.
Yeah.
And inside the ring line in here, it'll say 0.710 or 0.600. And that's the one thing they're not compatible. And then this internal barb one is sort of a specialty product, but it matches up. It works kind of with both point. So this is the 600. This is an inline drip tube. It's kind of like this other 1/4 inch that has the emitters.
There's an emitter in the tubing. On this one, it's every foot.
Is that one every 6 foot?
Oh no, it's every 6.
Yeah.
And then having the emitters in the tubing, there's less stuff to pull out. There's less spaghetti tubing.
Right.
Using less 1/4 inch tubing everywhere kind of simplifies the systems and is less likely to get hit by a rake or chewed up.
So this is that same stuff, but inline 1/2 inch, and this is the 600. So if I tried to use this or this, it'd kind of be, you could use this, but this will go and match up with everything. And then this is an internal barb, and then you could actually make it so that these are compatible. And they're a pain to take off. But most commonly you'll use the non-internal, the compression, where you push the tube on inside.
Most common mistakes we see in drip would be like mixing little micro sprays with low drips. You get a lot of water in one place, not in the other.
Right. Yeah, like
running too much spaghetti, like we talked about.
Yep. Yeah, this stuff is letting out between a 1/2 gallon to 1 gallon per per hour per emitter. Same thing with all the inline drip and the little drip emitters. And then you get into like the sprayers and this thing, and this will do, it's adjustable, but up to what, 15 gallons
Spectrum with
an
15,
hour.
and that'll do a little less, yeah.
And then the sprayers could get up to like 20 plus
So
gallons
you
an hour.
wind up with puddling on one side, or too much water on some plants and not enough on others, and that's,
Right,
maybe you want to split those into 2 different valves and be able to match your flows a little better.
right. So, let's just say, I don't know, this Leatherman is the plant, and we got our supply tube next to it, but it's a little bit off. Then you could use a little bit of 1/4 inch solid, and this will be sort of your distribution tubing to get close to your plant. Then do a square cut, use Felcos, or you can use a knife. Then you're gonna put in all your little 1/4 inch fittings. Now you're by the plant, you want to go and get around the root ball, get that in there, and then these are nice where you put a couple in here and locks it all down. Easy. You could put a valve in. Let's say you're doing a veggie bed, like rows.
It's a great option to be able to have flexibility. Sometimes
Right.
you go crazy with them, and then you don't know what you did and what you didn't do. But it's really nice to be able to turn stuff down, especially on pots.
Yep. Pots, veggie beds where you have runs, or like, oh, this year we're gonna not have this row. You can turn it off or just customize.
Yeah, same. And also, you can put the same shutoffs in these guys and do the same sort of thing. Turn off an area, turn on an area,
Right.
turn it down.
Then they got L's and T's for 1/4 inch. Same thing with all the 1/2 inch. So you got the coupler, T, L, and this figure 8 end cap. Would go. They have a few different end caps, but it just crimps it off.
Yeah, especially with the drought. Drip irrigation retrofit is a great way in order to save water, save money.
Yep. Yeah. It could be like up to using 1/10 of the water that your old spray system used. But the main thing is match your outputs. Don't put, like Trevor was saying, the high output and the low output. And good to cover with mulch. Put it on the surface of the ground, and then put a couple inches of some kind of wood chips or mulch or something. Insulate it, that you don't see it, because you really don't want to just start burying this stuff.
This stuff will work buried, but if you hit it with a shovel, you go right
Right.
through it. That's the problem.
Right.
So you wind up with just more repairs.
Yeah. Anything else?
On wood chips, you're going to move the wood chips before you dig anyway. You're going to see the pipe, and then you're going to know what's going on.
Yeah.